Hello, what's up YouTubers? This is Martin446 today with a new tour review for you guys. Today's tour review is on the Neca, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood Ezio, the Ebony Assassin armor. Sorry, maybe it sounds a little wrong and kinds of stuff, but I do a review today on the Ezio in his Ebony Assassin outfit. And I was really looking for this figure. I have already the Ivory version, or the normal Brotherhood version, at the ending of October. But since today, I got this figure totally new for today. And the reason why is maybe most people don't know, but next week Wednesday, December 14th, it is my birthday. I will turn 15 then. And today I got already a gift from my grandparents, and it is this figure. And I was really looking for this action figure. I can't wait to open this figure up. Packaging wise, it is almost the exact same packaging as the other one. Being of course the different thing is you got some other pictures right here with this captain sword. I will later come into it, but you got some awesome pictures of the figure itself. Also on the side right there, Ezio Ebony Assassin. If you know me, Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite games I've ever played. I really like Brotherhood. I love Assassin's Creed Revelations. I love Assassin's Creed 2, and I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood right there. Of course, the front, the front cover of the game itself, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This is of course the other figures in the wave. You got of course the Ebony Assassin version and the Legendary Assassin or the Ivory version. I have already this one, so if you want to check that review out, I will link the video down below. But if I have one to choose which is the best, how much I like this one, I think I like this one just a little bit more. There is some reason behind it. I will tell about later on that in the review. But there's a reader up there. He always fought alone, but one man cannot defeat the entire Templar Order. So I have recruited my fellow assassins together. We will cleanse the corruption from the holy city of Rome. Together we will forge the Brotherhood. This of course the figures in the wave. Also there are unhooded versions of these Ezio figures. You got of course the unhooded Legendary Assassin version, also the unhooded Ebony Assassin, which are Toys R Us exclusives. But I can't wait to open this figure up. Also, the background of the card itself, the packaging itself, is really awesome. It really pops the figure itself in the packaging. It is of course the Animus, I think the Animus V2 in the background. And really awesome. So that is, well, I'm sorry. Let's get this figure open up and see what we have. So here we got the Ebony Assassin Ezio out of his packaging, and wow, that's the only thing I have to say about this figure. Wow, I mean, if I had just one company that I have to choose as the best company of toys, in my personal opinion, it will definitely be Neca, because this figure is downright fantastic. I mean, the thing what Neca always does with their figures is done so well. The last few years, they really stepped up their figures, and right now, some figures totally kick some other things out of the park. If compared to the Neca remake Jason, to the original remake Jason from Mesco, and so on and so on. You had the Kratos God of War figure, if compared to the DC Unlimited Kratos, and then there's much more figures out there, but this figure is just right. Just right. I mean, also the accessories. That's one of the issues that many people had with the previous Assassin's Creed 2 especially figures, because they kind of lacked in the accessories department. But this figure has made just right. It's just, I mean, I'm speechless right now. I'm lost for words. That's my problem. But this figure is, I mean, top notch. What the figure so much excels from the first thing is the paint. The sculpt and paint is done really, I mean really well. It really totally kicks some other figures out of the park, and the paint is top notch. There is no paint issue whatsoever. With some figures in the past that had problems, sometimes with the paint. Yeah, there's a little scratch right there, but that is almost nothing. I mean, some of the other figures in the past, like from Neca, but especially sometimes other companies had paint issues, but they really hit this figure out of the park, and the Assassin's Creed figures are a great example of that. I mean, just amazing. But talking about the figure, there is much, in my opinion, a little bit more going on the armor itself if compared to the other one. I will bring the other one in if you got a whole second. I'm sorry. Here you got them both together. This is one of the questions that I have for comments. Which do you like more? Do you like the Ebony more, or do you like the more original Assassin more? In my personal preference, it was a very hard choice, but how much I love this one, I don't know. I like this one just a little bit more. I will explain that in a moment. But the paint is top notch. It is just top notch. They really get out of the park. It is done fantastic. It is just done fantastic. On a single figure for only 15 bucks, this is just a piece of art. One thing I always love about these figures are the head sculpts. Yes, you cannot see it really well. Wait a second. Right there. Yes, it is a little dark, being the fact that his hood is also a black color. But one thing I always love about these figures are the head sculpts. I mean, the head sculpts are done so well. It just basically just looks that this figure has took out the game and just transformed in a figure or a mini version of himself. I mean, this is just fantastic. One thing I always really love about these figures are the way of the eyes. You cannot really see on this one, but you can definitely see at I think on this one they have actually shiny kind of reflective eyes, which Hot Toys also uses the fact of. You cannot really see it good, I'm sorry about that, but it definitely shows that, and that is really awesome. The head sculpt is just top notch. It is just top notch. On the rest of his armor, very nicely painted. His boots are also very different if compared to the normal version. Yes, on the upper body, there's much more going on if you compare it to the normal one. There's a lot more armoring, a lot more detail, and there is just no paint issue. That's so awesome. On the back, he got his very nicely dark aged cape right there, which is very cool. His pouches, which are very nicely detailed. Again, the paint is top notch. There is no paint whatsoever. It's really amazing. Got his throwing knives right there. They aren't removable, which is for some people kind of a shame, but you actually see how small these things are, and if you It would have been, yes, of course, it would have been nice to actually come out. But the one thing you always want to make sure of is the fact if you kind of remove those, you have to be really, really gentle with those. One thing, you can be lost these things very easily, or they actually snap right off. So that's the fact they didn't make a removable throwing knives. But it's assassin symbol right there, which looks really, really, really cool. The paint is done really, really well, and the sculpt is unbelievable. Really, really, really amazing. His gauntlets are, again, the paint is top notch. You get all these little marks right there, every little detail. A shoulder pad right there. Yeah, it really goes to show how great Neca is with their figures. And I think really Neca is gonna be, it's my favorite toy company. And I think at some point, and they really hit figures out of the park. And again, it's gauntlet right there. Really, really, really amazing. Anyway, with his articulation, he certainly has the same articulation as the other one, of course, but the articulation is top notch. Believe me, it is unright top notch. I mean, a hell of a lot nicer than the cult classic figures from Neca with their pre-post problems. But going off articulation, the head is one of my favorite parts. He has a ball jointed head, but one thing you have to see is the fact that he does have a ball jointed head, but there also is a secondary ball joint in his neck, and that is really, really, really surprising. So you can actually move the head side to side at 2 points, up and down, left and right, and a very satisfying ball joint. Really, really, really cool. Sorry, there's some things going on in the back of my room, but he does have ball jointed shoulders. One thing you also have to know is the fact that these new Assassin's Creed figures have also inner shoulder articulation. You cannot see it really good at this one, but at the Ivory ones, he does have actually inner shoulder articulation. This one too, but you can't look at, you cannot really see that. So it's actually really hidden, which I really, really like. He does have the elbow joint and the swivel in the elbow, which I love. There is a pin socket in the wrist. You cannot move it when the blade is coming. I will take a lot later on that. He does have the mid-torso articulation. You cannot really move it well, being the fact that he's got his armoring going on. But he has a waist swivel. The legs are a thing of beauty. He's got a pin socket or ball joint in the legs. So you can move them back and forth. If you rotate them to the side, you can move them in and out. Yes, it are the same joints like the Assassin's Creed 2 ones, but these ones are actually one of those pin and socket joints which are actually great. They are not as hard as movable like the Hasbro kind of joints or the Assassin's Creed 2 joints, because those joints were really, really tight and very hindered about this close. And this one are very freely to move. So you actually can move them out, and if you want to rotate them like that, you can move them back and forth. I think there is no upper thigh swivel, but one thing you have to love is the fact they got actually double hinged knees. And wow. That is Marvel Legends articulation right there. Really, really awesome. And this also have a swivel in the boot. There isn't really as much articulation in the ankles, being the fact he's got this a rubber piece around it, but you can move it up and down. And there is also toe articulation. So that's certainly tons and tons of articulation. In the way of accessories, he does come with some, and that's one thing I love about this one. One of those is of course being his retractable hidden blades, which are standing out for a very, very, very awesome length. Right there. And one thing I love about this figure you can also remove them right there, is the fact that an Ezio figure finally came with a sword. Put him in his hand right there. And now you have Ezio with a sword. And wow. Wow, oh wow. Pleased as punched. Take a look at the sword. This is of course a captain sword, and if you play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you make a lot of use of this sword. You can actually buy this sword in Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Also one of my favorite swords in the game itself, a captain sword. Also, a question for you guys: if you do play Assassin's Creed trilogy and kind of stuff, what is your favorite sword? My favorite swords are probably the Sword of Altair, the Sword of Yusuf, and probably Captain Sword. That's probably my top 3. Really, really, really nice sword. Very nicely detailed. It's a very hard plastic, so it doesn't break off very easily. And very, very, very cool. You can take the sword in his hand, of course. And now you got Ezio posed with the sword itself. And that is really, really, really cool. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a brilliant, brilliant figure. For any Assassin's Creed fans out there, do pick this figure up. If you don't like action figures, at least give this one at least a chance. Because this one is, I think, the best of the two. The paint and the look is top notch. The accessories that it comes with are amazing. And this figure overall is fantastic. And if I'm getting him a rating, here he comes. Yeah, there he comes, guys. This guy gets a solid, awesome 10. I know, I used the 10 a lot in my reviews. I apologize. But I think this one really deserves the 1. The paint, articulation, and the accessories are top notch. And is probably one of my favorite figures in my collection. I mean, what's about the love about this one? It is brilliant. It is just brilliant and just made it just right. And again, if you see this figure, you definitely need to pick up this one up. You hear it, guys, in the background? I think that was my brother right there. But get away off topic here. But I'm sorry. Awesome figure, and that was again a figure review from Martin446, and I'll see you guys next time with another review. Bye guys!